Meghan isn't at all keen on his half in, half out plan either. And that apparently is leading to severe marital problems. He wants to spend more and more time in Britain, particularly taking his kids over to see their granddad and all that, getting closer and closer to William and all that, and then doing some duties, performing some duties, uh, because he's really missing his former life here.
Mm.
She doesn't want that. She sees their future as an all-American dream. She doesn't want to go back to Britain, and that is causing serious friction. Reports of stand-up rows. It's all going wrong. I mean, they need money. He needs money. She needs money. That as ever business of hers is ridiculous. Selling your candles for $64 and box of jam for $15. Do me a favor. It's ridiculous. So that is just a pipe dream that she refuses to accept is never going to work. So she's not making any money to speak of. He certainly isn't making any money. He's just lost millions of pounds in that ludicrous case against the Daily Mail over
Yes.
here,
Yes.
in which him and Elton John and Liz Hurley accused the Mail of phone hacking, illegal information gathering, criminality.
Mm.
40 reporters brought into the dock. Not a shred of evidence to prove any of their allegations. The judge chucked out all 97 accusations against the Daily Mail. And that will leave Harry and his cohorts with a £50 million legal bill. Meghan's
Wow.
furious about that. Meghan is
Mm.
so furious about that because they've got big cash problems. And she warned him to stop this ongoing war against the British press, which we all knew he would never win, can never win. And now he's lost it spectacularly. That's another source of serious friction between these two, between the gruesome twosome, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, that she says, I told you so, you shouldn't have carried on. But he's lost all this money. Meanwhile, he's going to continue this lost cause of his ongoing legal battle to get armed police protection from the British government when he comes to Britain with his family. He's never going to get that. He's wasted millions of that. I mean, this guy is just an idiot. He's an
Yeah.
idiot. And Meghan is increasingly frustrated by that. And all these forlorn campaigns he's got, to get armed cop guards and to, defeat the British press. He calls himself the Dragon Slayer.
No.
Well, guess what? The dragon just slayed him. Massive cash problems. He keeps spaffing money. And you know that phrase, Danica?
Yeah.
When money walks out of the door, love flies out of the window. That relationship is in trouble on a number of levels, but when there's no cash in the house, there's rarely happiness.
No, you're absolutely spot on.
What happens when two people who once appeared united in every major decision begin wanting completely different futures? For years, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle presented themselves as a couple determined to build a new life far away from the royal family. But fresh claims suggest that the very decision which defined their post-royal identity may now be creating one of the biggest challenges in their marriage. Reports now claim Harry is increasingly looking back towards Britain, while Meghan remains firmly focused on building an American future. If true, it raises an important question. Has the dream they once shared started to evolve into two very different visions? Let's examine what these reports could mean and why they are generating so much discussion. Talk TV host Kevin O'Sullivan has sparked fresh debate after discussing reports that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are experiencing growing disagreements over where their family's future should lie. According to the claims, Harry has become increasingly interested in spending more time in Britain, not necessarily to return permanently, but to rebuild family connections and allow his children to know their British heritage. Meghan, however, is reportedly committed to keeping their lives firmly rooted in California. While none of these claims have been confirmed by the couple, the reports have reignited public fascination with the different pressures they may now be facing 6 years after stepping back from royal duties. For many observers, the timing is significant. Harry has repeatedly spoken about missing parts of his former life despite his criticisms of the institution. Britain remains his birthplace, the home of his family history, and the country where many of his closest memories were made. Those emotional ties never completely disappear, even after years abroad. If Harry genuinely wants more time in Britain, it would represent a notable shift from the image many believed had become permanent. It isn't difficult to understand why Britain might still have a powerful hold over Prince Harry. Regardless of the well-documented family disagreements, it is where his father, King Charles, his brother Prince William, and much of his extended family continue to live. It is also where his children's royal heritage originates. Reports suggest Harry would like Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet to spend more time with their grandfather and become more familiar with the country that forms such a large part of their identity. This desire doesn't necessarily mean Harry wants to return as a working royal or undo the decisions he made in 2020. Instead, it may reflect something much more personal, the wish for his children to understand both sides of their family history. As parents often discover, raising children can reshape priorities. Decisions that once centered on independence and creating distance can gradually evolve into questions about family bonds, cultural identity, and the role grandparents play in a child's life. If the reports are accurate, Harry may simply be navigating those changing priorities. Harry has spoken on several occasions about the importance of family, even while describing painful experiences within the institution. He has also acknowledged that he would like his children to know where he came from. Britain is more than just the location of royal palaces and ceremonial occasions. It is where he grew up, attended school, served in the armed forces, and experienced many of the defining moments of his life. Those personal connections cannot easily be replaced by a new address or a different lifestyle. There is also the practical reality that Archie and Lilibet have spent very little time in the United Kingdom. As they grow older, questions about their identity and heritage are likely to become more significant. Spending time with relatives, seeing historic places connected to their family and building personal memories could help them develop a fuller understanding of both sides of their background. Whether that happens through occasional visits or longer stays is another matter, but it is understandable why Harry might feel that maintaining those links is important. On the other side of the reported disagreement is Meghan Markle's long-term vision. According to the claims discussed by Kevin O'Sullivan, Meghan sees the family's future firmly centered in the United States. Since leaving royal duties, much of the Sussexes' business ventures, charitable projects, media partnerships, and professional network have been built in California. Their lifestyle, friendships, and children's upbringing have all become closely connected to America, making it the natural base for the family. From Meghan's perspective, remaining committed to that future could appear entirely consistent with the decisions they made when they stepped back from royal duties. The move to the United States was presented as an opportunity to create greater independence, raise their children outside the pressures of royal life, and pursue careers on their own terms. After investing years in building that life, changing direction again could feel disruptive both personally and professionally. There are also practical considerations that any family would recognize. Archie and Lilibet are settled in an American environment, surrounded by familiar routines, schools, friends, and activities. Frequent travel between continents or spending extended periods in Britain would require significant adjustments. Parents often prioritize stability for their children, particularly during their early years, and Meghan may genuinely believe that maintaining a consistent home life serves their best interests. Another important factor is the intense media attention the couple continue to receive whenever they visit Britain. Every public appearance generates widespread coverage, speculation, and commentary. For someone who has spoken openly about the pressures of public scrutiny, it would not be surprising if Meghan preferred to minimize situations that bring renewed attention to the family. If she believes their future is strongest in America, her position may reflect a desire to preserve the independent life they have worked to establish rather than revisit old challenges. Relationships often face their greatest tests, not because of dramatic events, but because people's priorities naturally change over time. Reports describing stand-up rows should always be treated cautiously, particularly when they rely on unnamed sources. However, the underlying issue itself is entirely plausible because it reflects the kinds of conversations many couples have when balancing career ambitions, family responsibilities, and differing personal goals. Harry may increasingly value reconnecting with family traditions and allowing his children to know their royal relatives. Meghan may equally believe that protecting the independent life they have built in America is the healthier long-term choice. Neither position is inherently unreasonable. The challenge arises when two sincere perspectives point towards different futures, requiring compromise rather than certainty. This situation also highlights the unique pressures faced by the Sussexes. Unlike most couples, any reported disagreement is immediately analyzed across newspapers, television programs, and social media. Ordinary discussions about where to live, how often to visit relatives, or what is best for children become subjects of worldwide debate. That level of attention inevitably adds another layer of complexity to decisions that would already be difficult in private. It is also worth remembering that compromise has been a recurring theme throughout Harry and Meghan's relationship. From relocating across continents to balancing public responsibilities with private family life, they have faced major decisions together before. If differing views over Britain and America have emerged, they may simply represent another stage in the ongoing process of adapting to changing circumstances rather than evidence of a relationship in crisis. One of the most interesting aspects of these reports is what they suggest about Harry's personal journey. In recent years, much of the public conversation focused on what he wanted to leave behind. Now, speculation is increasingly centered on what he may wish to reconnect with. That does not erase the disagreements of the past, but it could indicate that time and experience have reshaped his perspective. As people grow older, particularly after becoming parents, they often begin to reflect differently on family relationships. Maintaining distance may seem necessary during one stage of life, while preserving connections for the next generation becomes more important later on. If Harry is indeed thinking more about his children developing relationships with their grandfather and other relatives, it would represent a natural evolution rather than an unexpected change of heart. For Meghan, however, the focus may remain on protecting the life they have established in California. From her perspective, returning frequently to Britain could risk reopening tensions they worked hard to move beyond. She may feel that looking ahead rather than revisiting the past offers the greatest stability for their family. Those differing priorities do not necessarily mean either person is right or wrong. They simply reflect different ways of viewing the future. Ultimately, any long-term solution would likely require flexibility from both sides. Harry's wish to maintain strong ties with Britain and Meghan's commitment to their American life do not have to be mutually exclusive. Many families successfully divide their time between countries, allowing children to experience different cultures while maintaining a stable home base. Whether the Sussexes eventually choose that path remains uncertain, but if these reports contain any truth, finding that balance could become one of the most significant decisions they face in the years ahead. At this stage, it's important to remember that these reports remain unconfirmed, and only Harry and Meghan truly know the conversations taking place behind closed doors. Public commentary and media speculation often capture attention, but they rarely reveal the full picture of any marriage. Still, the discussion highlights an intriguing possibility, that the biggest challenge facing the Sussexes today may no longer be the royal family itself, but deciding where they want their family's future to unfold. Whether Britain eventually becomes a regular part of their lives again, or whether America remains their permanent home, the decision will shape not only Harry and Meghan's future, but also the upbringing of Archie and Lilibet. Until either of them chooses to speak publicly on the matter, these reports should be viewed as informed speculation rather than established fact. Yet they remind us that even after years away from royal life, Britain continues to cast a long shadow over Prince Harry's story. What do you think? Is Prince Harry naturally feeling drawn back to his roots, or is America still the best place for the Sussex family to build their future? Could these reported differences simply be part of every marriage, or do they point to a deeper divide? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this balanced royal commentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next discussion. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.